I'm going to show you how to tame a Desmodus in ways that are both 100% effective and 100% pain-free. There are several caves in which you can find the Desmodus, but we're going to focus on two of the main ones in which it's easier to tame. This being the Waterfall cave and the other being the Green Crystal cave. The taming food for Desmodus is blood packs, which you can get by using the blood extraction syringe on yourself. However, tamed Desmodus will actually harvest blood packs from creatures that you're killing. The first thing I actually recommend you do is to tame a low-level bat, and it doesn't matter if you're 100% or effective or not with this. The reason I recommend this is to use it to farm up all the blood packs you'll need for the higher level Desmodus. The main problems that I ran into when taming a Desmodus is that in the Waterfall cave, it's really hard to isolate the bat that you want to tame. You often will get swarmed and be picked up by multiple bats. And in the Green Crystal cave, the Desmodus often won't come back down from the ceiling to pick you up again. And that if you only tame with blood packs, you will never get 100% effectiveness. So the solution to isolating the bats in the Waterfall cave is to actually enter the cave using a stego. When you're riding on the back of the stegosauruses, you're immune to being dismounted, so the bats cannot pick you up. You can then pull out your spyglass to check the bat levels and isolate the one that you want to tame. From the back of the Stegosaurus, you can also equip weapons. So when you head in, you can equip the harpoon launcher with the net gun to isolate the bats that you want. I usually net the one I want to tame first and then try and take the others out by either netting them or using the shotgun on them. While you're doing this, the Stego should be able to tank most of the hits. You can also use a bowler on these bats, and once they're bowlered, you can again equip your shotgun to take care of them. Do this until you only have the bat that you want to tame left. Typically by this time the cooldown on the net gun has expired, and I like to net it again while I get prepared for the tame. What I will do is throw out my Daedon and then recryo this Stegosaurus. Then you want to enable passive healing on your Daedon and make sure that you have food in its inventory. Now it's time to start the actual taming. You can either have the Desmodus pick you up or the Daedon up at this point. It does not matter. Sometimes I like to have it pick me up first, that way I can track the tame easily. I always keep my blood packs in my hotbar. That way I can watch how many it's taking per taming pickup. You can always check how much you'll need on Dodo decks. After the first pickup, it's important to get away from the bat as fast as you can and have it try and aggro back onto your Daedon. Sometimes the easiest thing to do is to lie underneath the Daedon so it will pick that up. Once it's got hold of the Daedon, then you need to creep back to the entrance of the cave and make sure that your taming tracker is turned on. So now I recommend that you stay in this position and keep an eye out for damage numbers. When you see the damage numbers, that will let you know that the Desmodus has picked up your Daedon and the taming effectiveness is now increasing. You can see that we've increased from 63 to 71% taming effectiveness. So keep at this, keep an eye on your taming tracker and keep an eye out for damage numbers, knowing that's when your Daedon is being picked up. The Daedon will be taking quite a bit of damage, so that's why it's important to put food in its inventory, have a saddle on it, and make sure that it's enabled with passive healing. So depending on your taming settings, this may take quite a few minutes. This is a 3-time server, so small tribes rates. And you can see that we have just hit 100% taming effectiveness. So now you want to re-enter the cave and make sure that the Desmodus tries to aggro on you so that it will pick you up and start taking the blood packs to increase the taming. It's really important to keep an eye on the taming tracker. You'll see that the taming bar has gone up, but after one feed, the taming effectiveness has gone back down to 98%. And 98% is not acceptable, so we need to get to the Daedon as soon as possible, hide underneath it so that the bat will pick up the Daedon and head up to 100% effectiveness again. The next step is again to have the Desmodus pick you up, take your blood packs, and finish the tame. Depending on your server settings, you'll need to alternate between the Desmodus picking up you and your Daedon to maintain that 100% effectiveness. When it comes to taming in the Green Crystal Cave, there's a few more things that you'll need to take into consideration. There are more nasty creatures on the floor of this cave, so I usually bring a stronger dino in to take care of those before I start the tame. In this cave, I don't feel the need to have the Stego in order to stop the bats that I don't want from picking me up. Usually they're so high up on the ceiling that what I tend to do is scope out the one that I want, Pull out the shotgun and shoot the bat that I'm not interested in taming. With a decent shotgun, it usually dies before the one that you want to tame gets to you. The bat I wanted to tame was also aggroed and it's flown down and picked me up to start the tame. And it's important to remember to bring parachutes for this one because the bats will take you higher in the air and you can die from fall damage. Just like taming in the waterfall cave, you want the bat to now start picking up your Daedon to increase the taming effectiveness. The way I do this here is to use a Maywing to get the bat's attention, glide over to my pig and have it pick it up. If it doesn't pick it up right away, you'll sometimes need to have the pig moving, like on follow, so that it gets the bat's attention. This is a little bit trickier because the Daedon goes a lot higher in the air. The trick with this cave is that once the Desmodus has taken the Daedon, it usually remains up at the top of the cave and it becomes very hard to get its aggro to come back down to the Daedon. Again, you need to enable passive healing on your Daedon to keep it healthy throughout this process. And this is where the Maywing comes in really handy. I usually climb up to the top of these pillars with the Maywing, hold down the jump button and launch at the Desmodus. Once you've got its aggro, glide down to where your Daedon is and land just behind it. That way the Desmodus will pick up the Daedon before it gets to you. So just like in the waterfall cave, you need to make sure that the Desmodus is picking up the Daedon over and over again. In this case, it's a little bit more tricky and tedious, but you can keep using the Maywing to drag it back over to your Daedon. And repeat this process until your taming effectiveness has hit 100%. Once you have hit 100% taming effectiveness, that's when you want the Desmodus to pick you up and take your blood packs instead of the Daedon. Just like in the waterfall cave, at this point when it picks you up, the taming effectiveness may lower. So you may need to alternate between having it pick up you and the Daedon and just ensuring that at the very last pickup it's at 100%, and then having it pick you up for the very last time and getting to tame your Desmodus at 100% effectiveness. If you have found this video helpful, you can check out my other Fjordur guides, which are here and here. Or if you'd like, you could subscribe to the channel for more awesome guides and entertaining content. Thanks for watching. Bye.